I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid here. I am Team Gwynriel. I think when it comes to Elain and Lucien, they at least need to give the mating bond a try. Okay, for everyone that hasn't clicked off yet, I will say my recent reread in preparation for the next ACOTAR Book 6 definitely reinforced my feelings on this. Let's start with Azriel, because honestly, I think that's something we just need to address real quick. Azriel just let Moore go. And I think that's because the shadows overheard Moore explaining to Feyre about her sexuality. I suspect his shadows heard it, they reported it back to him, and he said, oh, okay, things make sense now. As such, I think he deserves someone who wants him back. So why not the first Valkyrie to actually cut the ribbon, one of the only 2 females to actually make it to the top of Ramiel, and she is feisty. Also, it helps that Azriel's the one who found her, so he already knows a lot of her trauma story without her needing to get into it before she's ready. And when she is ready to get into it, he will be very comfortable to talk to. Shadow singers are good for that. And just one final point for why I cannot get behind Elain and Azriel. As someone who has been on each of the points of a love triangle at various stages in my life, I can tell you it's not fun for anybody. Not for anyone in the triangle, not for anyone outside of the triangle. Nobody has a good time with that, and Azriel deserves better. Okay, so here's my case for Elucien. First, let's start with how they're both kind of fox-like. They are both cunning, playful, observant, and wise when it's safe for them to be that way. For example, Elain tells us the story about Nesta dancing with the Duke, I think. Nesta didn't say a word to Elain about any of that, but she observed the whole thing and she figured it out because, fox. They're also both quiet brooders. They don't really like to talk about their trauma or their feelings or their thoughts or really much of anything. But as such, they also seem to be comfortable in silence, like together. And I will say parallel play is an equally valid form of quality time. Also, they each seem to want the traditional gender roles. Like, she kind of wants to be a Tradwife and he kind of wants to be the chivalrous knight. Those lifestyles are well suited for each other. Also, unlike at least one of each of their siblings, they were always free to marry for love from the moment they were born. Lucien was never going to be the heir of the Autumn Court, and Nesta makes a point about how their mother said that Elain was going to marry for love, but Nesta was going to marry for basically status. But either way, neither of them really needed to think about the future of their families so much as what they wanted in a partner and what they wanted in a life. Ultimately, their baggage matches one another. Also, it's not lost on me that Elain is a seer, while Lucien has a magical trinket eye. They both perceive things outside of the normal realm of perception. And side note, when it comes to the sibling thing, each of them have a sibling or a sibling figure that is rough around the edges and not always a crowd favorite, but they have an undying loyalty to. For Elain, that's Nesta, and for Lucien, that's Tamlin. So as they continue through the whole life thing, they'll be able to understand each other's perspectives a lot and really relate to one another. And Elain would thrive in the Spring Court if that's where Lucien chose to end up. But most importantly, Elain and Lucien are each unknown characters. We know bits and pieces about them, we know things that have been hinted at, but we really don't know them. We got to see a little bit of Lucien in the first ACOTAR book, but Elain really hasn't opened up yet. So in addition to everything I've already said, I'm also Team Elucien because this relationship could go in all sorts of different ways and I really want to see how it plays out. They have the potential to be great friends. They have potential to be great partners. Sometimes those two don't always mesh well. They also have great potential to be great enemies. And right now, I'm not really putting any stock into how I'm hoping that it all plays out. But please let me know what you want to see and how you feel it's going to play out in the comments down below. And or please make your case for Elriel down in the comments.